James, it's the Oscar edition.
Holy crap, it's the Oscars already. It came, man. It flew by.
Yeah, it felt like we were waiting forever for the nominations to come out, and then all of a sudden it's like, oh, they've been out for weeks. Oh, shit, that's tomorrow.
Or today, maybe. Or yesterday. I don't know. When are you listening to
Depending on
this,
when
audience?
you listen to it. Could be months from now.
Yeah. Well, welcome to Trailer Hitch, everyone.
Yeah, welcome.
The official podcast of two weirdos thinking that they know a lot about movie trailers, but do they?
You're going to find out.
It's up to you to decide.
However, which way you're listening, we'd like to welcome you.
Welcome.
We're going to be getting into a lot of different things tonight. So first and foremost, just because we've been telling you guys 4 months now, hey, we're going to do a trailer in the Rearview for Ring vs. Grudge. We're going to do this for Ring vs. Grudge. We're going to do this for Ring vs. Grudge. You know what? It just hit the point where, again, we've hit the hat trick, man. Another really slow period for trailers has come and gone. So we thought we would take this opportunity to say, you know what? Fuck it. We're going to do our trailer in the Rearview for our main episode.
We will devote it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Now, we're kind of backlogged on these, as our regular listeners know. So what we're doing is, on top of reviewing Ring vs. Grudge, we're also going to be doing trailer in the Rearviews for Rouge One and La La Land.
Yes.
So just to start, I want to say that we will be going into spoilers for all three of these movies. Mm-hmm. We're assuming virtually all of you have seen Rouge One at this point. We're fairly confident most of you have seen La La Land at this point.
Sure.
And we think enough of you don't give a fuck about the Ring vs. Grudge enough where you would care if we were to get into spoilers. But of course, if you want to avoid those, more power to you. I completely understand.
Yeah.
In the description for this episode, you will find time codes in which I tell you when certain reviews start and stop.
Oh, that's very generous of you, sir.
Yeah, I know. Now I have to commit to that.
Yeah, you
now.
just committed.
Now I have to actually pay attention.
Have fun.
Thanks, man.
No, but I mean, we'll try and keep it brief. How did we think the movie fared against the trailer?
Yes.
Spoiler free-ish.
Yes.
Then we'll, go into spoiling the hell out of it for you guys if you want.
All right. Now we're telling you a lot about our dish that we're serving up for you tonight, but You know what? It's time we get right into the meat and potatoes. James, do you want to get into our theme song?
Oh my God, that's right. We have a theme song.
You can't haul your stuff without a trailer hitch. Trailer hitch.
Grab a seat, pour yourselves some whiskey neat. It's time to judge the shit out of these future releases by the movie trailers. We're Trailer Hitch. This movie might totally suck, but the whiskey sure is going down fine. Yeah, we're Trailer Hitch.
That's for the Trailer Hitch.
Yeah, cheers! If you want to send us requests for trailers you'd like us to review, please feel free to send them to trailerhitchmailbox@gmail.com or hit us up on WordPress or hit us up on Facebook.
God, you're a pro at that now.
But if we know who you are and you just tell us it in person, it don't mean shit. You got to write it in. We need this stuff in writing if you want us to commit.
I assume you checked the email since last episode.
Yes.
Okay, probably good. Yeah.
Yeah, it's...
Now that we've actually gotten some emails from people, we'll probably keep checking that on the regular.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, and you guys, even if you don't have a special talent with music and you just want to email us and say hi, you like the show, you hate our guts, you think we're awesome, what have you, send us an email. We'll read it on air if it's not too horrible.
Yeah, otherwise, yes, if you want to send in intro music for, say, Hitch-Hikers, you could do it.
What is Hitch-Hikers, Kevin?
Well, Hitch-Hikers is where we go through a set number of trailers, rapid fire, and just give you very abridged thoughts on what we think. I always say very abridged, even though abridged basically means it's a bit... Never mind. I'm just realizing that I'm misspeaking terribly, and so I just would like to say to everyone...
I'm just going to watch this happen, man. You're unraveling.
No, I'm hoping... I'm digging myself into a hole right now.
I see it.
I'm hoping that I can just tunnel my way all the way out through the other side of the earth, and then pop up on the other side.
I understand. I don't think it works that way. You'd probably melt in the core.
Well, we'll see what happens when my shovel hits the inner core, James. Now, for the uninitiated, we give our abridged thoughts, and we are also going to be rating these. So our rating scale is as follows.
It's our normal rating scale for all movies.
Which is need to see more, or never need to see. Now, if James and I come to agreement, we both give something a need to see. You're going to hear some fun-ass music. We're going to briefly celebrate and then keep plowing on through. If we both agree, though, what's going to end up happening is we will end up watching the movie itself when it comes out, preferably in the theater. And then we're going to report back to you guys, let you guys know what we thought about the movie and the trailer in hindsight.
For sure, yeah. That was good. That was very abridged of you. Good abridging.
Would you say very abridged?
I would say very, very abridged. Good abridging, Kevin.
Thank you.
So much abridging.
It's what I'm going for.
Yeah.
Now, there is going to be something that is a little bit different for our regular listeners when it comes to Hitch-Hikers. So
Tell me more.
So typically what ends up happening with these is you're going to hear me give you the title of a movie. I give you a little synopsis, and then we just launch into our thoughts. Now, there are a lot of times when trailers are atmospheric, or they're vague or confusing. So whether intentional or not, sometimes you don't really get a good idea of what the story of a trailer is just by watching it. So, ladies and gentlemen, here's what I'm going to do. I will indicate to you when this is going to happen, but if I don't have a clear understanding of what the movie is about, I'm just going to make up a premise. Now, if one day someone who makes trailers, people who make movies end up listening to this podcast and are like, Kevin, you are completely misrepresenting my movie. That's really disrespectful of you. Knock it off. I say in retort, then make a clear fucking trailer.
Yeah, that's what you were selling, man.
Yeah. And bear in mind, my fake premises are not going to be anywhere close to what the movie is actually about. But usually in my review, I will give you some indication that, this is sort of what you're in for. Like, here's just at least a little nugget for, like, what you can kind of expect.
Totally.
So, ladies and gentlemen, we are about to start Hitch-Hikers. We have 15 trailers. James, what are you feeling for time?
What were we at last time?
Well, we hit under, and I think we...
Let's go with 7 minutes?
Let's do 7.5 because we have 15.
And we did 8.5. We shot for 8.5 last time, so
that sounds about right.
I'm cool with 7.5. Okay, so Kevin, I'm ready if you're ready.
Fucking, I am ready. I bet the listeners ready too.
Oh, they've been waiting. Bated breath.
Bated breath.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yep. That's the idiom.
Okay. I have my timer all set. You tell me that. You just give me the go, man. And I'll go.
Fucking. Do this. Headshot. It's about a guy who survives a gunshot wound to the head, finding love, and then promptly getting thrown back into a world of crime. It seems to be gunning for brutality versus the overtop fun of the raid, which I can appreciate. However, it seemed like a weird choice for the trailer to give limited glimpses of the protagonist fighting, who, by the way, he's the guy from the raid. Just let him do his thing. Need to see more.
I really dig the style of this one. High intensity, broken up with beats of rest that go along with the music tempo, which is, always really cool. I like music. Not to mention the fight choreography is top notch. Like you said, guy from the fucking raid, amazing.
Yeah.
But for such a simple complex, it's a simple familiar complex. I feel like it's basically like Jason Bourne.
I'm confused, but we don't have the time. Go.
It's Bourne Identity meets While You Were Sleeping. It's weird.
Okay.
I need to see more.
Okay. Wolves. It's about a talented high school basketball player who may not have money for tuition, so he does something. That's not too clear yet. I get the vibe that this is basically Whiplash with the hard knocks of life, substituting for an angry J.K. Simmons. But angry J.K. Simmons is awesome! But I'll hear it out just on the basis that Michael Shannon is in it. Need to see more.
I admire all the plot aspects this one tries to balance, but I think it ends up being too much for its own good.
Totally.
We have money trouble, family drama, relationship drama, gambling, college scout troubles, injury troubles, white boy learning to be a better player on the streets tropes. Just a lot going on. I love the pace slowdown at the end, but that's not enough. Never need to see it.
Fair. We go on. It's about a guy who puts out an ad that would prove to see if someone can prove the existence of ghosts, and then, whoops, he gets haunted. I'd like to take a moment to contemplate how much stronger of a character the protagonist would be if, say, his wife had passed, and that's why he was trying to figure out what happens after death. Let's take a moment. Okay, great. Anyway, the scares here were really lackluster, going for what appeared to be zombies at one point, but ghosts in another, just fucking commit.
Yeah.
Never need to see it.
Yeah, it's confusing. A bit of a old one being a Blu-ray trailer, I noticed on this one. So it's coming out. Interesting concept, especially going for a horror direction with it. You're definitely on edge with the aesthetics, but not so much anything else. I don't know, the performances seem okay, but I just get a bland vibe from the trailer. Never need to see it.
It's don't hang up. It's about a couple of douchebags who make prank videos by calling people and scaring them, but then the tables turn when someone does it to them. When the trailer flips, the unknown assailant makes mention of the protagonist's prank videos, then 30 seconds later, one of the guys screams, "We have to figure out why he's targeting us. He told you already. It's because you're a douche." Also, I think the practice in horror films to have terrible people as the central protagonists so you root for them to die is pretty gross. Never need to see.
We literally have the same review, but I'm going to read it anyway.
Okay.
Kevin, we have to figure out why this guy's doing this to us. It's because you two are dickheads. Mystery solved. Also, the trailer gives away the ending by saying the dickheads are being pranked. JK, I know he was saying that facetiously, but what a twist if it was all just a prank and nothing bad was actually happening. Never need to see it.
Lavender. It's about a woman experiencing a psychotic break, going to her childhood home and confronting her inner demons while confronting, I don't know, maybe ghosts. I frowned at the pretty ridiculous Babadook ripoff involving a through-the-windshield view of the car flipping, but then I saw how many times the car flipped based on her skidding at like 20 miles per hour and burst out laughing. When I realized it wasn't meant to be played for a laugh, though, I did kind of feel bad, but still, never need to see.
Yeah, what the hell? This trailer is all sorts of all over the place. Like, I understand the style's making your audience unsure when dealing with a character losing their mind, but I think the trailer for this should be a little bit more focused. Like, is it a haunted house film, a tortured mind film, a creepy devil child film? Like, what is it? Never need to see it.
The Ticket. It's about a blind guy who regains his sight but starts to move away from the people he's closest to due to his new obsessions. This has the most confusing cut I've seen in a trailer in recent memory, where Dan Stevens is delivering a sermon for some fucking reason, but it's intercut with Dan Stevens running to and opening the doors of the same church service. I legit thought Dan Stevens might have been playing a dual role there for a moment. What the fuck?
I thought they were separate actors.
Yeah. Anyway, it's not a looker, but I'll keep my ears open for another, hopefully clearer trailer. Need to see more.
I love the slow build of this one. A simple setup of what the film is about while keeping you guessing on where it's going is interesting. I like the lottery speech story, and it's intercut with the visuals. It's interesting. But with that analogy, is he implying he took action to be able to see? Or was it just a miracle situation? It's kind of confusing. Need to see more.
Elfin Song. It's about a psychiatric doctor trying to find a missing colleague with the help of an inmate in his hospital. There's some visual compositions that I really enjoyed, but the wait-what-ness of the premise didn't quite wear off for me. Need to see more.
Took till the last shot of the trailer for me to remember it's called Elephant Song, because there's an elephant in the last shot for some reason. I like the bait and switch at the beginning and with the kid's mom, and I like the charismatic performance of the lead, but I hope there's more to the plot than what it's letting on. Need to see more.
Bouquet. It's about a couple vacationing in Iceland who wake up one morning to find that everyone in the town, and potentially the world, has disappeared. That hook made my ears perk up. Is this a lead-in for a horror? A hook for a drama to show how a relationship crumbles? Or simply a douchey metaphor? So far, it looks like the second choice, but a little of the douchey metaphor column as well. Also, I try to give as much leeway for this as possible, but holy shit, some of the female leads' line deliveries are bad.
Yeah.
But, for potential sake, this is a need to see more.
See what happens, millennial snowflakes, when you use all your money to travel instead of working like a dog? End of the world. Boom, your fault. But yeah, it looks beautifully shot. It does a good job showing their isolation. But the trailer goes in a good direction when she says, should we be preparing for something? But then it doesn't really go anywhere with that question, which is weird. Need to see more.
Numb. It's about a group of friends who find a corpse with GPS coordinates that may lead them to gold, but they have to brave the cold elements and their boiling temperaments to find it. If I'm following the trailer right, there's really no guarantee there's gold out there, which may be the point, but makes us feel like literally everything that happens is for naught. Especially considering the characters don't have any reason to find the gold other than, yeah, that'd be neat. It sours the proceedings for me. Never need to see.
Yeah, this trailer goes from praying to God to finding an icicle man to a treasure hunt, and then that's all in the first 30 seconds. Hope the film itself has a bit more time to thaw. Also, like 90% of the dialogue is off-screen, which is distracting. Also, I feel like a group is a bunch of idiots. The intensity has me intrigued, but on this trailer alone, never need to see it.
Salt and Fire, and this is a fake premise. It's about two people held hostage by a chef played by Michael Shannon as he drives them through salt fields to find the perfect type of salt for his 4-star restaurant. Okay, really, this doesn't give too much to work off of other than it being a Werner Herzog movie. The compositions are pretty stark, but again, would love more context. Also, holy shit, does Michael Shannon sleep? Dude's in everything these days. Need to see more.
I don't like it. I don't know. I thought Michael Shannon's voiceover anecdotes were like really distracting, especially because it's not giving you anything what the story is about. It's about a woman getting kidnapped in the desert or something. I don't know. Yeah, never need to see it.
In Control, it's about a wacky VR system that literally lets you live a different life, but when those playing it start reveling in excess and lack of consequence, they begin to lose themselves. Kind of a weird thematic turn to say that you can learn about yourself through other people, but then immediately flipping it and having the characters lose themselves. What the hell, man? Was that in the terms and conditions? No one reads those! Never need to see.
Looks like these kids should have watched Being John Malkovich, eh? After the premise is established at the 40-second mark, the trailer seems really disjointed. Weird, out-of-context lines with nothing mean nothing to me, edited over artsy visuals. Yeah, don't text and drive, kids. Never need to see it.
Their Finest. It's set in Britain during World War II and is about a female screenwriter tasked with inspiring the nation while facing sexism along the way. Really enjoyed the humor in this, though not everything landed for me. I appreciated the fact that they weren't going too aggressive with their approach. That said, some of the broader strokes, like its thematic core and why in the ever-loving fuck the screenwriter falls for the guy who's a total dick in the opening who did nothing to redeem himself, I wish would be clarified. Need to see more.
Yeah. I love films that give us a glimpse at filmmaking from different eras, mix in some social commentary about women in the workforce and English accents. You have my attention, because #feminism looks fun, charming, and moving. Need to see it.
Fair. Mine. It's about a soldier in the Middle East who steps on a mine but doesn't trigger it, leading him with the task to stand still for 50-plus hours or lose his life. It's a pretty interesting premise, but one I think would kill as a novel versus a movie. The random dude who he meets and visions he has seem to be people in a meeting room somewhere saying, fuck, then this can happen to him, just so that way something can happen. Need to see more.
Now, I think that's an interesting survival concept. There's usually survival films in confined houses or rooms, but these filmmakers were like, hold my beer, confined to one step. That is interesting. Need to see it.
Fair. 47 meters down. It's about two women on vacation that go into a shark tank. Problem is, that fucker breaks and sinks to the bottom of the ocean, forcing them to fight for survival. 1, wouldn't the people running the shark tank look for them or keep in contact with them somehow? 2, just swim up. 3, they could wiggle their way out of the tank, but only after they fell all the way down. Got it. Never need to see.
Sharks, man, they will never not be scary. With the added dangers of limited oxygen and trying not to get the fucking bends as you get to the surface, you get a scary flick. Super close-up fast cutting is a bit nauseating, though. Need to see more.
The House. It's about a couple who run an underground casino out of their house in an effort to raise enough money to send their daughter to an expensive college. Will Ferrell and Amy Poehler is a dynamite mix for me, and I had a grin on my face the entire trailer. Don't know if there's enough here to get me into the theater, but I'd sure place a bet on this for home.
Totally.
Need to see more.
Nice. Amy Poehler and Will Ferrell, excellent combination. There aren't many jokes in the trailer, though, other than Will Ferrell is bad at numbers, which isn't that funny to me. But the ending cheater scene was a strong way to go out. Awesome.
Yeah.
Need to see more.
And
Jesus fuck! Whoa!
Wow!
You know, we didn't succeed this time, guys.
I think we flew too close to the sun.
Yeah,
we were gunning for 7.5 minutes. Instead, 10 minutes and 10 seconds.
Yeah, you know what? Honestly, I felt it a little bit as we were going. I'm like, you know what? I don't think we're gonna make this one.
I think I'd hit the point where I was like, okay, I think if we bum rush it a little bit, we might be able to hit. And then I looked down and realized we had 4 to go. It was like, nope,
this isn't happening. Accept it. You know what? That's okay. We kind of felt it.
Yeah.
And we kept going, though. That's the important part, is we finished.
Yeah.
We didn't give up.
We did not give up.
We lost,
God.
but that happens, man.
Fuck
Cheers.
yeah.
Happy Oscars.
Happy Oscar Day if you're listening to it around that time.
Because that has something to do with competition, but not really.
A bit. All right. Sir, do you think it's time to get in some trailer in the rear views?
Wait just 1 second, Kevin.
What?
Because we do have one request from a listener. A friend of the show, Carter, asks us to comment on, or give a little trailer tune-up on the most recent Power Rangers trailer. And they've been pumping out these Power Rangers trailers,
Like
I tell you.
nobody's business.
Yeah. So this is like the 3rd or 4th trailer now.
Yeah.
That was good.
Thanks.
That was excellent. That's a little Alpha 5 action for those of you who don't know. Anyway, what do you think? I think where I was at the last time we talked, I was still at a need to see more.
I was as well. I
Okay.
was definitely teetering closer to never.
That's right.
And yeah, if I recall my exact verbiage, it was this next trailer better knock my fucking socks off.
Yeah.
It did not.
Sure.
I mean, like, we basically just have what to me feels like more of the same-ish, with the exception of now we get a little bit of Bryan Cranston as... Sorry.
Zordon,
thank you. I was about to say Zordon. And we get a little bit more of Elizabeth Banks as Rasputin.
Rita Repulsa.
Fucking, yep! So we get a little bit more of that. But again, like, they're trying really hard for some reason to be like, oh, let's wait to show them the suits until the end of the trailer. And it's like,
yeah, we've all seen
why?
them. We've all seen them at this point.
Yeah.
Many times.
It feels really weird to kind of, like, hold that back. But, like, really pump up, like, the origin story aspects.
Yeah.
And I'm definitely burnt the fuck out in terms of origin stories. Like...
Fair enough, man. We're getting a lot of them.
Like, Spider-Man Homecoming looks super cool because I don't feel like it's necessarily going to take the first 45 minutes of the movie to be like, and then Uncle Ben died.
Oh, 100%
you know what I mean?
not. Yeah, he's already dead.
And I think that's why, like, something like that is sort of sparking my interest. But, like, Power Rangers, just because they seem to be focusing so much on them, getting their powers, learning them, it feels like this is just a straight origin story. And, like, that doesn't really hook me that much. Ergo, I am going to downgrade it to a never need to see.
Never need to see it for Kevin.
What up?
What? Come at him, Carter. This third trailer is essentially... I feel like it was cut for people who are already decided that they're going to go see it.
Probably.
Yeah, there wasn't really much to build off of from the previous trailers. It was more just... we should just show more cool shit.
Yeah.
They scaled back on the origin stuff. They scaled back on the character stuff in favor of more Zords, more Megazord, more, fighting, more suits, more Rita destruction and shit. Now, having said that, those are all things I like and obviously need to be in a Power Rangers movie. And I think it all does look like a lot of fun, but if we're just looking at this as just a trailer, this is probably the weakest trailer of all of them because it doesn't really give you much. It's an add-on type of trailer, which is becoming more and more popular with movies, especially blockbusters. It's like as it's closer to the release date, they just keep releasing new trailers, but they really aren't full trailers anymore. It's just like... it's full length, but it's just more and more sizzle type stuff. Having said all of that, I just remain at a need to see more with this one.
Okay.
Which we will not be getting more.
Yeah,
this
we're
movie comes
kinda...
out like very soon, I think.
Yeah, for sure. Maybe I'll catch it at home.
Yeah.
But
I mean, and honestly,
in a theater, I'm probably not there.
Ladies and gentlemen, now that I'm saying need to see more, or even if I give something and never need to see it, that doesn't mean I will refuse to go to a movie theater to see it.
One of the movies that we reviewed, like, really early on, Morgan, we both gave a very vehement never need to see.
Oh, that's right.
I have seen Morgan.
Did you go to the theater to see it?
Fuck no.
Oh, okay.
No.
It's like, oh, is this where... okay, all right. Well, good for you that you didn't.
So I mean,
theater.
but that is to demonstrate for those listening at home. If we give something I never need to see, that doesn't mean that we're like, all right, well, great, we're not going to watch that ever. Like there's still obviously a chance that we'll see that or something in a need to see more column. There's a chance that we might not even fucking see something that we say we need to see.
Fucking right.
It takes all kinds. So yeah, maybe we'll end up watching Power Rangers.
Don't take us so seriously, but at the same time,
take us seriously because we're the professionals.
Seriously. That's right. All right, you know what? Let's move on. How about that? You're welcome, Carter, friend of the show person. You're welcome. We did it. We did your request, and I hope you enjoyed it.
We should probably get into some trailer.
Let's move on to the tit RVs, as we like to call them,
or not
like to call them.
That's just the unfortunate acronym. We did not realize that tit RV was going to be the acronym for the segment. Although, frankly, it does fit Trailer Hitch, so...
Trailer in the rear view, tit RV.
Yep.
Definitely a redneck type thing to say.
Yeah.
So, here we go.
And that first one...
yeah. That's a good point. Let's establish that.
Is going to be Ring versus Grudge.
Ring versus Grudge. Or whatever.
Yes.
What do you rate this trailer?
Honestly, I'd give it a need to see it.
I think I would give it a need to see it as well.
Oh my god! All right, alarm bells. Let's do
play
this,
the
folks.
alarm. Ding, ding, ding.
Right, ladies and gentlemen, so this is the Ring vs. the Grudge trailer in the rear view. We spoke very highly of the movie when we reviewed the trailer. We were very excited for it.
The trailer was a lot of fun, man.
So much fun.
It really was.
Just for some basis, this did just come out within like the last, I'd say like few months or so.
Sure.
It did get like a very tiny release in Los Angeles, where we're based out of. It was directed by Koji Shiraishi. I apologize. I'm not going to be PC as fuck because I'm going to be trying to say these names. I'm just going to give a random shout out because here at Trailer Hitch, we think it's unfair that like the top billed cast members are the ones that are always, you know, shouted out or like given props to. So I would like to give a shout out to Ellie Nanimi.
Ellie Nanimi.
She was Sadako Yamamura.
Is that the ring?
That might be. I don't know.
Okay.
Anyway, yeah, that might have been the ring girl. I might just shout out the ring girl. Good job, ring girl.
Good job, ring girl.
I wish there was more of you in this movie. Not to spoil it, but ladies and gentlemen, buckle up because this is the first time I feel like we were really missold on a movie.
Oh, yeah.
So
that's an understatement.
Yes. Going back to that review, we were really pumped. We were excited just because it was nutso fun.
Yeah.
The direct quote that I had said was, you know, there are these human characters. They're really not the focus, though. The issue is they are the focus of the movie.
Absolutely, they are.
And again, we are going to be dipping into some spoilers here. You know, feel free to skip ahead to any of our other trailer and the reviews this episode, because I feel like we kind of have to go into spoilers in order to really get the full breadth of what the issue is.
Sure.
And the issue, ladies and gentlemen, is in the Ring versus the Grudge. The Ring and the Grudge do not fight until like the last 15 minutes of the goddamn movie.
I would say not only do they not fight until the very like last scene of the movie, those two storylines don't intersect until
at all.
last scene of the movie.
Yes.
It is almost two separate movies happening simultaneously. Two pretty boring movies happening simultaneously until the very end.
And James, you'd actually put it really great after we watched it. You had said that it was just 75% a Ring movie and then 25% a Grudge movie, and just they were both not good.
Yeah. It was really not
And that
good.
really does encapsulate it. And so, because that's what's going on. And so, yes, there's a lot of intrinsic problems there. One, it's not really a Ring versus Grudge movie. As you said, it is two separate goddamn movies.
Totally.
That just sort of come together at the end.
So how do you feel it relates to the trailer?
And
bring it back to that.
And that's the thing, man, is like with the trailer is just nutso fun.
It's
like,
right?
Yeah, it's like just going balls to the wall. Like the music cues are really great. And that energy just does not carry through into the movie itself.
No.
Like the movie itself is like basically a slow burn.
There's a difference between a boring film and a slow burn, though. And this was a boring film.
I'm talking about intent, though. I think their intent was to make it a slow burn.
Sure, yeah.
But again...
But the trailer was selling this fun, energetic film. As I kept saying in the review, that like catchy Japanese pop song that was playing with it. Like there was none of that energy in it at all. Even at the fight scene, there was like hardly any energy there. They played that song at the end credits, and that was it. Yeah, I just remember, at least for my review of the trailer, I literally said, and I misspoke clearly, but I said, oh yeah, man, the filmmakers clearly know how ridiculous this is, and they really have fun with it. What I should have said was, the trailer looks like the filmmakers know how ridiculous this is. Because they don't. This movie is taken really seriously.
Yes. With the exception of that exorcism scene in the middle. No, everything is played pretty straight.
It's totally bogged down by extensive plot.
Yeah.
And like bad plot too. It was so bad. And just completely mismarketed from the trailer.
Yeah. You know, like, there is that hollowed hall of trailers that completely misrepresented the movie.
Yeah.
Like The American with George Clooney was an Anton Corbijn movie, so it's this, like, fucking art house flick that was marketed as a Jason Bourne-esque thriller.
Sure.
A lot of people went to see it, were pissed because that wasn't what they got, and I would put the Ring versus the Grudge trailer in that category, too.
100%.
Where I don't think it represents the movie well at all.
No, and it's not even like...
It's a great trailer.
It is.
It's just not.
But see, and it goes beyond even like the trailer mismarketed this movie.
Yeah.
Because, like, that can happen, too. Like, with The American. It's like, oh, this was selling one kind of movie. It's a different kind of movie. But that art house kind of movie can still be good. Yeah, you might have been expecting something different, but blah, blah, blah. This was just a straight-up bad movie.
Yeah.
It was just bad, in my opinion. In my humble opinion.
And I agree with that.
And so it went beyond just mismarketing it. Man, kudos to the editor of the trailer, then, for... putting something together out of this movie that was just nothing. It was a nothing movie. Anyway.
Yeah, just like relating back to the trailer, it's definitely high octane, a lot of fun. Would recommend watching the trailer.
Yeah, watch the trailer, guys.
Now, the movie itself, I unfortunately cannot recommend.
Oh, 100% no. Absolutely not.
So, for our trailer and the Rearviews, ladies and gentlemen, we rate these differently than our trailers because you don't need to see more because presumably you've seen the movie or just you've made the decision not to, and probably after what we've said about The Ring versus Grudge, I doubt that you'll end up seeing it.
So it's all about hindsight.
Yes. So in hindsight, our rating scale is glad I saw it, should have waited, or shouldn't have seen it. And based on this, I would say I shouldn't have seen it.
Shocker.
Yeah, I know I kind of went left field on all of y'all, but yeah, had I known it was just like a slow burn, not really a versus movie at all, I probably wouldn't have bothered.
It was a complete waste of my time. Yeah. It's 100% a shouldn't have seen it for me as well. Yeah. And... man, we wasted like a good half hour just trying to set up the movie, too. And we were so excited.
Yeah. You were just so ready for it.
Just all went down the well.
Yeah. And then...
refused to die. Yeah. All right, well, there you go. Ring versus Grudge, guys.
All right. But we're going to move on, ladies and gentlemen. We finally got that off of our backs. So now we're going to look up to the stars, which I realize could lead into either Rogue One or La La Land. So do you have
are we in a different galaxy, Kevin, or are we in a city of stars?
Well,
you got to make
no,
up your mind.
You are my resident Star Wars expert.
Yeah.
Which means that I should give any transitions to Star Wars in your hands.
Sure.
So hit me with it.
We're gonna talk about Star Wars Rogue One.
That was really disappointing.
You want to get out of here?
Our rebellion is all that remains to push back the Empire. We think you might be able to help us.
When was the last time you were in contact with your father?
What is this? It appears he is critical to the development of a super weapon.
If my father built this thing, we need to find him.
All right. How many do I need?
They are requesting a call sign.
It's, Rogue One.
The tune-up, I'm going to upgrade Rogue One from need to see more to need to see.
Oh my god, double high five, please. Thank you.
So for you, good. I'm assuming you're sticking with the need to see?
Well, yeah, totally. Yeah. I completely, like, even some things...
briefly sound the alarm. That's No Moon. That was our Rogue One review, where we both gave it a need to see.
That was good.
Thanks, man.
That was good.
And now we're actually going to do the trailer and the review for this as well, ladies and gentlemen. Again, this is Rogue One, directed by Gareth Edwards. It starred, I should, I guess, put it in the past tense because we saw the fucking thing. Felicity Jones, Diego Luna, Alan Tudyk, Donnie Yen. For a random shout out, I'm going to crawl all the way back, and I am going to say Rufus Wright, who played Lieutenant Casito. Good fucking job, man.
He was my favorite part of the movie.
We saw ya. We thought you did great. So yeah, James, You obviously were very excited for this.
Damn right I was.
How many times have you seen it?
I saw Rogue One 3 times.
Okay.
In theaters.
That means that you are way more qualified to give us a little synopsis. You want to hit us with it?
Sure. Okay, so for those of you who don't know, it's a story about a ragtag group of rebels, reluctant rebels, who decide to throw in with the cause and find the plans for the Death Star so that they could find a weakness and exploit it and destroy it, because it is going to wreak havoc on the galaxy.
I like it. Yeah. That was it.
That was it. I mean, we all knew that going in. The trailers were very good at hitting those points home. So let's talk about the trailers.
Yeah.
Yeah. And because there were 3 main trailers for Rogue One. We reviewed 2 of them.
Yes.
Number 2 and 3. Mm-hmm. Rogue One Trailer 2 was our first episode of Trailer Hitch. And I've been on board since that one. You took a little bit more...
I was a little bit more cautious with the second one, just because I felt like there wasn't really that much there to Felicity Jones's character, and I was afraid that they were just going to play her as generic badass, which I don't think makes for an interesting movie.
Absolutely.
So I had given it a need to see more.
Yeah.
But then the third trailer really amped up the characterization between her and her father. Mm-hmm. And so that's what made me upgrade it, because I was like, okay, yeah, no, that was really my only hookup, was like, is this character just sort of flat or not?
Yeah.
Now, for the movie itself, I would say overall I thought it was pretty solid.
Yeah.
And for me, I love the last half hour. Like,
well, we're going to get into spoilers here, too.
Yes.
So everyone knows, we're warning you right now.
Yes.
All right.
I do love the last half hour. The stuff leading up to it, I think, is fine. You know what I mean? Like, there wasn't really too much there that, like, lit my heart on fire. I think that they could have mined way more from the father-daughter relationship. That said, I think it was really smart that they more or less, like, fixed a plot hole with the Star Wars universe, which is they have that giant fucking Death Star, and you're telling me some fucking farm kid can shoot one bullet and blow the damn thing up. And you learn from Rogue One that that's because Mads Mikkelsen is an engineer for the Death Star. He's building it, but at the same time is like, yo, fuck the Empire. So he makes a very interesting and intricate failsafe where it's like, if you shoot this one reactor right
in this
here,
particular direction,
which also has this ventilation system that you can easily shoot it through, you fucking just blow the entire thing up.
And
but it's more or less a way for the rebel forces to stop the Empire, which I thought was a really clever and cool way to go about it.
Totally. Darth Vader was probably like, whoa. What's with this exhaust port? And the Emperor was probably like, Vader, you don't ask the engineer what is wrong with the design. Are you an engineer?
Yeah, would you like to build one, Darth?
You trust the fucking engineer. But yeah, you're right. It's a story, like the whole movie is about kind of plugging that plot hole, sort of.
That's an interesting way to think about it, but yeah kind of.
I loved it from beginning to end. There are parts that are slower for me, but it definitely, the best part is, without a doubt, the end.
Yeah.
Like, between the ground battle on Scarif and, the fight... the aerial fight above the atmosphere.
Yeah, what's that line that Felicity Jones has where she's like, we're going to keep trying until we run out of chances, or something along those lines?
Yeah, we're going to take a chance
until
we run out of chances.
Yes.
Yeah.
Honestly, I think if you had started the movie at that scene where that line is said, and just had this little half-hour
battle
short film that was just that, I would still be telling people to go see this goddamn thing.
Yeah.
That's how much I enjoyed it.
Yeah, it's the best science fiction battle scene I've probably ever seen.
Wow.
It's definitely the best space battle in any of the Star Wars films. And I don't know any other science fiction films that really do a whole lot of that kind of stuff. I mean, Star Trek movies do. But this was a whole new level, man. And it was impressive, and it was tactical, well handled, well paced, which is important, because a lot of the prequels space battles, they don't feel particularly paced well. It's just a battle.
I mean,
for
you
a
could say
battle's
that
sake.
for the prequels as a whole.
Yeah,
but,
yeah. It's just a battle for a battle's sake. But this whole film builds towards this. Like, this is like you said, it could have just been this. All of the importance is in this moment. I loved it.
Yeah.
I loved it. Yeah. We could talk. I mean, we could probably talk all day about cool stuff, not great stuff, but whatever. I'll let it go. And the Darth Vader fights scene,
especially when he's just going down the hallway and killing dudes left and right,
just Jason Voorhees style.
The fact that he force throws a dude up onto the ceiling, but makes it a point to still cut him in half with a lightsaber.
Yeah,
holy shit!
I'm just gonna hold you there on the ceiling while I kill this one guy, and then you're still there on the ceiling. Well, I'm gonna cut you in half. Too. Yeah. It was incredible, and people.
It helped remind me because obviously the prequels you have Anakin, who we all know.
Yeah.
Anyway, and it sort of had undermined Darth Vader as a character. Rogue One made me remember, this is why this dude is fucking terrifying.
It's why he had so much legend behind him.
Yeah.
We needed to see that. We needed an explanation for why the original trilogy, everyone treats him with so much respect and so much fear. Mm-hmm. We've never seen that before. And this was it. I mean, I wish we could have gotten more of Darth Vader just kicking ass. But yeah, I really liked it a lot. I think in respect to the trailers, like I said, it was true. I think it stayed true to what the trailers were selling. And my biggest concern with that first trailer that we reviewed was this might not be for me. This is a Star Wars film that isn't about a fun adventure.
Yeah.
It's a war film. And it might not be for me. And in terms of, was that trailer selling the accurate movie? It totally was. This was a war film.
Yeah, I agree.
In tone, in plot, in all aspects. It was a war film.
Yeah. I would agree it's more of a war movie. My main concern, is Felicity Jones's character a little thin?
Still a little thin.
I would say still a little thin.
I would agree with you there.
And again, I think the fact that they kill off Mads Mikkelsen as early as they do, I feel like was a little bit of a misstep. I think it would have been interesting to have him along for the ride to be like, okay, I'm going to help you figure out where these plans are. This is how you get them. And then I think having him die in the battle would have made Felicity Jones go up to 11. You know what I mean? That would have been really interesting to see that character
and
who had been talking up so much, we got to make sacrifices. Boom! All of a sudden, you just made the biggest sacrifice. Yeah. You lost your dad. How are you going to react?
And exactly, and to see her just try and hold it together and not fall apart would be really interesting too. I mean, none of that really. It was my second viewing where I'm like, okay, her character is still pretty basic.
Yeah,
not a complete plank, not a wood board.
I wouldn't say so,
but left a little to be desired. I think Rey from Force Awakens still has her beat. I love that character way more. I think Rey is a way more interesting character, even though we know so little about Rey and Rey's past, and we know so much about Jyn Erso. I still love watching Rey more. I think she's a way more interesting character to watch.
Yeah.
But this very much is a team movie, and they had a lot of people that they needed to try and flush out, and I thought they did a good enough job. Was it a great job? No. Like you said, Felicity Jones, I think, suffered. The character who I thought was the best character was Mustache Guy. Sorry, I can't remember his name.
Oh, Diego Luna?
Diego Luna. Thank you.
Yeah.
Diego Luna. Diego Luna, I thought, was the most flushed out character, had the most satisfying arc, and interesting. He was just an interesting, charismatic character. I thought he was the better of the whole group. I really liked the villain, Krennic.
Yes.
Director Krennic, played by Ben Mendelsohn, right? He was really great. That was really great to see a Star Wars Imperial villain who isn't just evil for evil's sake. Like, I do like that because I think the fight between good and evil is an essential thing in Star Wars, and it's important, but it's not everywhere. And I think that's important to remember in this vast galaxy. This one director, he's not, like, he doesn't necessarily, like, believe so much in the Imperial cause. He's just in it for himself. He's just trying to further his career. His biggest villain, like, his biggest competition in this movie are not the good guys. It's Tarkin. It's Governor Tarkin. It's his own men that he's squabbling with. That's his biggest enemy.
Yeah.
And that's interesting to me. That's more interesting than all the Imperials just being, we're evil and we just do whatever our boss says.
Yeah, and I thought that it was kind of cool that they gave a villain more of a shade than, he's just on the dark side.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean?
Exactly. And don't get me wrong, I do like that.
Yeah. Well, and I think for something like Star Wars, which is meant to be, like, fun, as you said.
Yes.
Like, that's what that original trilogy is meant to be. Like, yeah, that's totally cool.
Yeah.
And it was interesting, and I think that does make more sense that for a war movie, they would make it more of a point to flesh out the other side, at least to some degree. And, like, fleshing out doesn't necessarily mean you empathize with them, but, like, you just understand what they're thinking.
That's all I want. That's all I want from an antagonist.
Yeah.
I don't need to empathize with them, but I would love to understand them.
Yeah.
To see where they're coming from.
No, I think
100%.
I think that's totally true, man.
Yeah, I really liked it. There you go. What did you think about the trailers compared to the film?
I would say that I enjoyed watching the film more than the trailer itself.
Okay. Even the third trailer that you gave a need to see.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Because, yeah, I mean, like, ultimately, it sold the visual style well, but, again, nothing could have, like, sold me for how fucking good that last half hour is.
I know. It was really satisfying.
Yeah, and it's interesting, because even though I felt that not Ray and Diego Luna, yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
Even though I didn't really connect that much to their characters, it still really resonated with me when they die. And I think it's because the idea that in order for that revolution or for change to happen, a lot of people had to make a lot of sacrifices for just an incremental amount of progress was really a cool message.
Yeah. And it's like something so, like, we know the effects that it has because we've seen A New Hope, but it's like literally just to get this like one little piece of information in the hands of someone else.
Yep.
That is all. And like everyone that died in the Darth Vader hallway.
Yeah.
That was all them just trying to get this information into another person's hands. Person's hands.
Well, in theory, everyone who lands on that base, they're fucking dead. Like, every single rebel is gone.
No one gets off of that base. Everyone dies.
So, yeah.
Everyone dies. Everyone.
And for some reason, it's really cool.
It's satisfying.
Yeah,
it really
it's
was.
Very satisfying.
Yeah. We could, like, I don't want to get into it because I have words to say about it, but there are some CGI characters in this movie. Grand Moff Tarkin and, wouldn't you know it, Carrie Fisher's Princess Leia.
Yeah, who happened to pass, I think...
like a week later.
Yeah.
Like a week or two later. Yeah. Which was upsetting for me, especially. But we won't get into the CGI characters. That's a whole other topic. If you're interested in our opinions like that, why don't you email us and ask us a question about it? But for now, we're just focusing on the trailers and the movies itself. So
yes, and in that regard, even though I ultimately did have issues with the movie, as a whole, I was entertained by it. I did think it was a lot of fun. And so I would say I am glad I saw it. And especially just because it is such a spectacle, I am glad I saw it in a theater, especially.
Oh, yeah.
So
that's yes.
So I would say glad I saw it. What would you rate it?
100% glad I saw it.
I mean, you did say it 3 times.
There wasn't much of a, question for me, but... Double glad I saw it! Double glad we saw it! Yeah! Do we even have a thing for that?
No! We'll just play the song!
What about Arrival? We did. We had double glad we saw it for Arrival. Yeah. We didn't have a song.
We didn't have a song.
We'll figure it out. Hey, listener, you can give us a song if you want.
We'll just fucking play the Jay Dilla track that I play when we get double need to seize.
Perfect. Glad we saw it.
Glad. Yep.
For those keeping track at home, if you care, I did enjoy The Force Awakens more than Rogue One. I kind of knew that going in, that the Skywalker saga, fun adventure films are definitely more my speed, but I loved this. I loved it. I think I liked it... Never mind. I was going to start ranking it, but it's not important.
All right. So we're getting back from that galaxy far, far away. We're traversing past a bunch of stars. And let's say we stop at the City of Stars. I'm basically just taking my last transition and just reappropriating
just recycling it, man.
I'm reappropriating it like Ryan Gosling's character reappropriates jazz.
That's pretty good. That's really good, actually. Yeah, I had to think about it for a second.
Yeah.
I was going to go with a recycling. Green. We're, responsible with recycling. I like yours better.
Okay. La La Land.
Strange that we keep running into each other.
Maybe it means something.
I doubt it.
Yeah, I don't think so. You could just write your own rules, write something that's as interesting as you are.
What are you gonna do?
I have my own club.
We hope you make a lot of money, though.
I hope he makes a lot of money, too, because I'm going to need to see.
Need to see it, absolutely. Play the sound of the alarm. Dun, dun, dun.
Right, so that was our review for La La Land, but now let's do the smog check, James. Let's just check to make sure that this can fucking run on the roads, and we can stand by it.
Very good. You just came up with that, didn't you? I saw the light bulb go on over your head. For those who didn't get it, it's because we're Trailer Hitch, and we do car-themed puns, and we're in Los Angeles, and there's smog here.
There was so many fucking... you know what? No, I'm not going to kiss my own ass.
No,
so this is the review for La La Land or Trailer in the Rear for...
The review for the review for the trailer review that we reviewed it for.
I'm going rabid for this, James. It is written and directed by Damien Chazelle, starring Emma Stone, Ryan Gosling, J.K. Simmons is in it, John Legend is in it. Our random shout-out goes to Corin Evans, who is the new barista. Hey, Corin.
Corin Evans.
Fucking good for you, man.
Yeah,
we saw you in that.
She got to meet Emma Stone, because Emma Stone had a scene with her.
And Corin tried to pay for her coffee, but Emma Stone politely declined.
What do you think
Think I need your fucking charity?
Your fucking
did you see me get driven over here in that golf cart?
I'm sorry, I just accidentally sneezed twice the amount I needed to pay for that coffee. So why don't you just put that in your little tip jar? Anyway,
so yes, La La Land is about a...
Was that a spoiler that we just did without... Nah, it's fine.
I mean, it sort of
was.
Anyway, so there
are spoilers in here.
Emma Stone is a barista when the movie starts, and she is an aspiring actor. Ryan Gosling is a dickish jazz pianist. And the two end up having a meet cute, which is anything but cute.
Yep.
But still somehow wind up in each other's paths on a couple of different occasions, end up falling for each other, and then we're getting into spoilers now, end up breaking up.
Yep.
However, Emma Stone ends up landing the audition of her dreams. She gets the part. She gets the role of her dreams. Ryan Gosling ends up achieving his dreams of owning a jazz club. And she, by happenstance, happens to go into it one night with her new husband. Ryan Gosling sees her and is like, and kind of has a mini Casablanca moment. And he plays the song that they kind of have linked to each other.
Yep.
In which we get a really fucking good sequence in which you basically get what their relationship could have been, and then it ends with them going their separate ways.
Yeah.
But they're happy because they've achieved what they've wanted to, and respect each other.
It was an incredible scene.
Yeah.
It was really moving and effective.
Mm-hmm.
Not only what it could have been, not even on an imaginative level, but more of even the little things in our relationship. If we changed just a couple little things here and there. Mm-hmm. I said yes here instead of no. I held the door here for you instead of not.
Yeah.
I just forcibly make out with you the first time I met you.
Yes, that was something that you pointed out.
Yeah.
That is something you pointed out in your review.
Yeah, we'll get to that in a second. But my point is, it's about all the little things that could have impacted the relationship and changed things. The brilliance in the scene is it goes through all of that, but then it brings you back down to reality of it doesn't matter though, because that isn't how it happened. And that was really moving and brilliant, I thought. And I think a lot of people can relate to that, you know? Yeah. So that last scene was incredible.
Yeah.
There you go.
All right. Now, in terms of the movie itself, I'm going to say that there appears to be two pretty stark camps for La La Land. You have the people who love the fucking shit out of this, and if you so much as blink wrong at it, they will come after you. Then you have the people who are like the backlash to the La La Land, right? Where they just abhor the son of a bitch, and even the slightest attempt to try and defend it is met with just vigorous anger, right?
Yes.
So we got these two like polarizing camps.
I think we both know people in both camps.
Exactly.
We won't say names, but like we know people in those camps.
Dead goddamn center.
I you know what? I think I'm a little bit more. I'm a little bit more towards the
right side,
it.
which is loving it.
Yeah. But I'm still. I get why people don't like it though.
Yeah.
Like I'm not oblivious, and I don't think people's opinions are invalid if they don't like this movie.
Totally.
Because that's ridiculous.
Yeah.
But I really loved it.
Yeah.
So there you go.
Yeah, for me, I think ultimately I was a little bit disappointed by it.
Let's get into it, man. Why?
Now, first of all, I love Damien Chazelle's last movie, Whiplash. Was
fucking incredible.
Yeah, I would say that was probably my favorite movie that came out that year. So my expectations were already high for it. Obviously, as y'all heard, loved the trailer. Was really jazzed about this.
Nope.
Nope. I'm pointing at you.
All right, I'll allow it.
All right. Cool. And so, yeah, I was really excited, and I ended up seeing it, and I think what ended up disappointing me was, I think Chazelle's character work in Whiplash was really good, but I don't think it came through quite as strong with La La Land.
Sure.
Because in my eyes, if you were to remove Ryan Gosling and Emma Stone's ambitions and their romance of each other, there is nothing there. Like, I don't really have a good sense of who they are as people outside of their ambitions, because everything they do in the film is either tied to their ambitions or their romance for each other.
Okay.
Even Emma Stone with her roommates going out where they're like convincing her, no, you should go out, you should try and have fun. It is all under the guise of you might meet someone who could give you your big break. So, like, even the idea of going out, in her eyes, is an opportunity to potentially succeed in her ambition.
Mm-hmm.
And ultimately, I think that hurts the movie. I think that what Chazelle might have been going for, because the only other thing I've seen that he's written is 10 Cloverfield Lane, which has fantastic character work.
Yeah.
The only thing I can think is with La La Land, he's keeping the characters vague enough where you as an audience member can more or less insert yourself. Where like, oh my god, like I've had a bad audition, or like, oh my god, like I love my art form and like no one gets it, man.
Yeah.
And like all these other people are sellouts, like that sort of shit. So that way you can autofill, and then like it makes it more cathartic when the characters end up achieving their dreams. But for me personally, I think the thematic idea of like follow your dreams would hit a bit harder and would be a bit more spellbinding for me if I feel like it's real people actually achieving those dreams.
Sure.
And right now I feel like Emma Stone and Ryan Gosling aren't. I feel like they're just general archetypes of LA people. You either have like, you know, the struggling actor or the struggling musician, and like here are the qualms that, you know, a good number of them face.
Sure.
So there's that. I will say, though, again, I really loved the end. I love the scene where they're more or less hate fucking each other through dance on Mulholland Drive. I think that's an amazing number. Really loved it. And then just like a smaller thing, I think there's like 4 or 5 different thematical things that are happening throughout the film. Like, you have like their ambitions, you have their love for each other, yada yada. I just think they could have went further with like showing the struggles of that too, especially with like Emma Stone's character. She has that one night where her play is met to virtually no one in the audience, and then she's like, fuck this, I'm leaving. She goes back home. She's there for like a couple days at max.
Yeah.
Ryan Gosling's character ends up getting a phone call. This is after they've broken up, and he's like, no, it's not her number. Why? Who is this? Holy shit, wait right here. He ends up driving out to her parents' house and is like, you got this audition, you got to do this. And then she goes back, it's the audition, yada yada. Now, in terms of like showing more struggle or whatever, when she's leaving, she says, I don't have enough money to pay the theater back. Like, that's a huge deal. And how is she going to get her way out of this bucket of soup? Oh, what? Nope, she landed a movie role. That's how she got out of that, I guess. 2, I think it would have been way more interesting if she had spent more time back home. If she had been there for like a couple of months and gotten like an office desk job that she fucking hated, or maybe not hated, but like, it wasn't fulfilling. She might have liked the people there,
like,
but
this is like the accumulation of settling down where you grew up. This is why I left to get away from this type of job.
Yeah, but like now the idea of like having a steady check is intoxicating. Yeah, you know what I mean? And then that way when Ryan Gosling shows back up and is like, you have this audition, like you got to do this, it's more of a struggle for her because it's like, you just left there and you just settled down. Mm-hmm. Are you really going to uproot a second time and try the thing that you felt wasn't working the first time? I think it would have been really cool and interesting, but I did feel like the movie was kind of pulling its punches a little bit. In some of like in that regard.
Yeah. I mean, Whiplash has enough punches for...
And I think
both of the films.
Which is fair, but at the same time, I think that's why I ended up enjoying Whiplash. It made it way more gratifying when he does play that knockout fucking solo at the end, because I feel like that character earned it.
Yeah.
And again, if we're talking about like, well, what did you really want to have added to the characters? Again, with Whiplash, I think the movie and the character is made far more interesting with that scene where Miles Teller character goes home. I think it did. It completely spelled out for me why he was pouring so much time and effort into this. It's like the one thing he's good at. And if he can be recognized and respected playing drums, then people will notice and care about him.
Yeah.
And then the fact that you have the father character there with him, who's like, dude, I fucking just love you for who you are. And also, this J.K. Simmons guy is a prick. I think it made that character and his struggle way more interesting to me.
Yeah.
And I just didn't have that with these 2 characters.
Fair enough.
So, I've talked you out. What did you think?
I loved it.
Cool.
Yeah.
Moving on.
I haven't really heard your thoughts before this moment. So I didn't really plan any counter arguments, or not that I was going to argue with you, but counter points.
Sure.
So based off of my just immediate recollection of the movie, no, that sounds about accurate.
Okay.
The difference being I didn't mind.
Yeah.
I've seen musicals that I've loved that have less character in it than that. And I still love it because I like musicals, and
Sure.
I don't have a counterpoint for you for that. As far as I can remember, everything they do is driven by either their relationship or their ambition. So, I don't think that's necessarily a bad thing, though. I think that's enough for a movie like this. This movie really wasn't trying to make any other sort of comments on any other part of life. So, I personally didn't need other aspects of this person's character. I bought already that they were a full fleshed out character without having to see them, make a decision to do this thing because they're motivated by a family thing.
Yeah.
I can just accept that, sure, they probably have that. I don't need to see it in this story.
And it wasn't necessarily what I was arguing. I wasn't necessarily saying that it was like, oh, we should get a fucking scene with Emma Stone or fucking Perry.
Oh, no,
you know?
totally.
But,
You
like,
know.
that was just an example of what Whiplash did that made me, like, get a better insight into that character.
Oh,
you know what I'm saying?
There's no argument that Whiplash is a better movie on, like, every level. With the exception of probably being a musical. In which case, La La Land probably has a beat. I just loved it, man. I dug the charm, like, a lot. And I was able to connect to a lot of different parts of the film. Not like you said, it's these characters are built so you can just throw yourself into it.
Yeah.
And for me, maybe for a lot of people that might make those characters feel a little more hollow. But I liked that because I was able to, like, see myself in this movie, which is a fun experience. Doesn't necessarily make for the best movie. This is not my favorite movie of the year by a long stretch. But I loved it. I thought it was great, and I fully plan to rewatch it. I haven't yet, but I totally would rewatch it.
Sure.
So there you go.
And, like, for me, I'm not necessarily opposed to rewatching it. That said, I don't feel, like, the need to go back to it like I felt for Whiplash.
Oh, totally. And it's, like, it's weird because people were talking about this movie before I saw it, and based on what everyone was saying about it and the trailers I had seen, I'm like, this is going to be my favorite film of the year.
Yeah.
Like, it is. It's got me written all over it.
And to be fair to those listening, that's how I had walked into it too. I
Yeah.
was like, well, at least La La Land's gonna kick my ass.
Yeah.
So
and it wasn't. And that's okay though.
Oh,
it's
for
okay
sure.
that I walked into a movie and it didn't happen to be my favorite movie of the year.
Yeah.
You know, I loved it. I give this one a glad I saw it.
So it's hard because, I mean, like, at the end of the day, it takes a lot for me to be like, you know, I really wish I didn't see that fucking movie. You know what I mean?
But that's why we have that middle rating.
Yes. And so ultimately, though I am glad I saw it, did I need to see it in a theater? And this is me removing Damien Chazelle's name from it, Ryan Gosling's name from it, Emma Stone. Like, let's say that I had no idea who the writer-director was and, like, you know, didn't feel the burning need to go and see that movie right away, all that sort of stuff. Ultimately, I would have walked away and I would have could have waited or should have waited.
Yeah.
Based on our rating.
And that's good. That's why we have that that's why we have that middle rating.
I feel like I would have probably been totally okay with watching this at home.
Yeah.
And saying, you know, okay, yeah, that was a solid movie.
Totally.
And, like, you know, there were some issues that I had with it. And the only reason why I go off at length about them is because I'm surrounded at work by people who love this goddamn thing, who are in that far right category.
Yeah.
And that's why I'm kind of like, I have to just bottle this up until I can get on this fucking podcast and just say all of it. No, I mean, like, ultimately, there is a lot in this that I do end up really enjoying. And at the end of the day, I would still recommend this to people. And there's a good chance you're listening to this either before or after it wins the Oscar or is, like, horrifically upsetted at the Oscars. But, like, odds are, you know, there are a ton of people who love the movie. You had said, like, you know, I don't think this movie needs to have, you know, like, the things I had mentioned.
Right, yeah.
And obviously for a lot of people, you're correct. It didn't. And yeah, like, I'm just me.
Yeah.
And, you know, like, I got the things that I like, and I do when it comes to movies. I appreciate character a lot.
Yeah.
And I think that's the thing that I gravitate toward, and the thing that ultimately I walk away from and remember about movies. Like, I remember the moments the characters go through, and sometimes, like, really interesting stories, but usually it's character. And ultimately, La La Land just wasn't quite there for me.
Sure.
But I think
I think
the pieces are there.
That's fair. And, like, obviously you can always elevate a story with character. But most musicals, the things you take away from a musical is usually, like, a show-stopping number or, like, a really catchy tune or a dance number or, you know, something like that. Like, those are like, the spectacle part of musicals that are, like, really interesting takeaways. that I come away like. Even my favorite musicals, like if I'm like, oh, what's my favorite part about Singing in the Rain? Probably Make 'Em Laugh, like the song. It's not a character moment from musicals. It's always like just a fun musical moment. Not always, but that's for me.
Because I feel like when people bring up like, oh, I wasn't that crazy about La La Land, those people on the far right are like, well, do you even like musicals? And so I guess I should have pre-warned. I'm not opposed to watching a musical, but I don't go out of my way to see them generally.
Oh, sure. But I mean, like
but
I
it's
said,
interesting,
though,
just from like what you were talking about.
Yeah.
I think you might have just stumbled upon why I don't really gravitate toward them, and just didn't realize that was the case until now.
I think that's
So thank you.
You're welcome. I cracked it. I cracked the code.
You cracked the code
but like
of me.
Like I said, there is room in musicals to elevate the story with character for an audience member such as yourself.
Totally.
I haven't seen a musical where like a character moment was the takeaway for me. That doesn't mean there is one out there. There isn't one out there that I haven't seen yet. There could be.
Sure.
It could be being made right now.
Yeah.
I don't know.
And if anyone listening has a recommendation for a musical that like might have great character moments,
totally,
or if you're like, Kevin, you're thinking about it all wrong, think about it this way, totally. trailerhitsmailbox@gmail.com. Hit me up. Like
right.
I'm like, because genuinely, man, like I'm not opposed to it. Like, would love that. And again, if you had thoughts on any of the movies that we reviewed, oh shit, we should talk a little bit about, in retrospect with the trailer. I did want to bring up, because you had said, you know, oh, this trailer seems like really scared of like letting people sing on camera.
The trailer, yeah.
And I posit this as a joke. La La Land also seemed to sort of scared about seeing people sing on camera because there wasn't that much of it for a musical.
And that's what I said that to someone else, and they were like, there was this song and this song and this song. I'm like, yeah, okay, but like it was just a lot of reprises of City of Stars.
Yeah.
It's a good song.
I like City of Stars, yeah.
It was great, but it was like placed in that film at like 4 different times. So it's not like you can count those all as 4 different musical numbers. Like you can, but it's sort of lazy. There just wasn't like the opening highway dance number. Mm-hmm. That was like the most musical the movie got.
I'd agree.
And I kind of wanted more of that. And it didn't get back to that level.
Yeah, I would say that the opening was the biggest number for sure, just in terms of like extras and like how intricate it got.
Yeah.
That said, they flew in a planetarium, so like there is definitely still great musical and like, magical realism.
In the Mulholland Drive scene too. No, totally. But those are like different kinds of musical. 100% things,
agree. Yeah.
But yeah, they not many songs.
Yeah.
So.
Totally. So yeah, holy shit, man.
That's all I got.
Dude,
on that.
Ladies and gentlemen, well, first and foremost, sorry for not doing too many trailer in the rear views as of late, but you just got 3.
You're welcome. It was a beast of an episode, but you loved every second of it.
We can tell from here. And so, ladies and gentlemen, on this Oscar night, we say thank you very much for listening. Tell your kids to go to bed, because apparently that's what everyone does at the Oscars. And to quote Joe Pesci's acceptance for his Goodfellas Oscar, it's an honor and a privilege. Thank you very much. For listening. For listening.
Oh, see, I knew where you were going with that.
All right,
so there
cool.
you go.
James, you got any retorts, anything to add?
I have absolutely nothing else to add. That's it, man. Let's call it.
I think, ladies and gentlemen, we're out of here. Thank you very much for listening, and we will catch you later.
Good riddance.
You can't mend holy sails without a sailor stitch, and you can't haul your stuff without a trailer hitch.